The Empire's only fortification in the Tavani Isles of the Azores coast, Wolverine Hall stands as a bastion of Imperial power in arguably one of Morrowind's most hostile regions, where the authority of Imperial might is barely recognized. Given that fact, the fortress of Wolverine Hall was a rather pitiful sight in vanilla Morrowind. Hardly the defensive fortification that you'd expect given the environment. But that is, of course, where today's Mod of the Day comes in. For today, we're featuring the Wolverine Hall by Duo Dinamico, aka Random Pow and Vegetto. This is a complete transformation and overhaul of the Imperial Fort of Wolverine Hall, based upon Wolverine Hall Overhauled by G-Vault, which you may recall we showcased in one of our Mod of the Month videos last year. But this version has some notable distinctions that help make it blend in a bit better with the vanilla game. Like with the original version by G-Vault, this new and improved Wolverine Hall just fully utilizes that delicious element of verticality to rebuild this Imperial Fort into a proper, intimidating castle-like fortress that just fully embodies the might of the Empire. The big change here from G-Vault's original version is that now this fortress has been retextured and just redesigned a bit to utilize vanilla Imperial textures. And some of the perhaps more moddy bits, like the animated NPCs, have also been removed. G-Vault's version had some crucifixed NPCs that were animated just near the entrance of Wolverine Hall, as well as some hanged Dunmer. And that might just be a little bit too antagonistic for the Telvanni, so that's all been removed. As well as there has also been some cleaning up of floating objects, some Z-fighting, and just other various fixes in the interior. But speaking of the interior, Wolverine Hall now has just a completely new layout, with a grand, imposing entrance, a kitchen, a proper Imperial chapel, an actual office for the commander of the garrison, an armory, and of course the various Imperial guilds. If you saw our original showcase for Wolverine Hall Overhauled, all this will look fairly familiar. But again, the interiors have just been retextured to to better fit in with the vanilla game aesthetic, without standing out quite as much as they did in G-Vault's version. There's also been a few other changes, like replacing G-Vault's pointed archways with rounded archways that just better fit in with the vanilla style, more oak data and terminal data assets, and just, things of that nature. But the end result here is still largely the same. An actual, proper, castle-like defensive edifice with a lot of lovely, atmospheric, and detailed spaces that just add a lot of life to Wolverine Hall, making it distinct and unique from just about any other just plain old, boring fort. I especially just love the interiors for the Imperial Cult Shrine and the Imperial Guilds. I mean, just imagine the Imperial Cult actually having a proper shrine, with tall imposing ceilings and a stained glass window, with all that lovely verticality, instead of just an altar stuffed in the back like some kind of afterthought. And the guilds now not only use a multi-level design, but they also have actual bedchambers for their resident members, as well as training and dining areas. The Mages Guild has laboratories for magical experiments, and all those other just simply fantastic immersive additions that are just a huge improvement over the vanilla game. Both the original Wolverine Hall Overhauled by G-Vault and the Wolverine Hall by Duo Dinamico are just excellent replacements for one of Morrowind's most confusing and lackluster Imperial forts. Though obviously, you may have your own preferences when it comes to which one you like best. G-Vault's more modded style just, certainly has its appeal. But if you're looking for that vanilla-ish transformation that also happens to have a compatibility patch for BCOM, this is probably the version for you. But anyway, that's just pretty much all there is to see here. So that's our Mod of the Day. As always, I've been your host, Golf Guy. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.